Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So birdhouse, we get to play with the champagne garden today. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, the only space I really have left is through here. I could certainly get more flowers on it around the place, but as for constructing things to stand or be positioned, that's really all I've got left. So let's see, and I'm pretty sure I don't have a birdhouse on here already. No. The other thing that I've still got lying around, and it just dawned on me, is I have another piece of that garden path. Hang on one moment, guys. I saw it the other day. I was looking for some threads for the French Japanese rice bag, and there's this little piece still in here which I tucked in there at some point for safekeeping, and I've never installed it, so it's another section of the path. So I think I need to work that in as well. So we've got these pots either side. I think that is a must. How did I do it last time? I just stitched it down and jiggled it a little as I went. So let's get it in with this as well. It's got to go in the piece. Maybe I put it over that there. See, this piece of fabric is from Rachel's fabric pack I got a few years ago, and I just love it, and I was reluctant to stitch over it with anything because it's so textural. My threads or my stitches would just disappear. So I'm thinking I might actually direct the path over it. That would solve the problem of it being so textured. So it's still become a bit of a feature. So if I can tuck that path in amongst all that work there and have it peeking out so the pot plants look like they're sitting either side of it. So I'm just going to pop a few pins in. Now I also condensed up the boxes of supplies that I first put together for this project. So I might grab that out because I haven't had a little dig in there for a while, and see if there's anything left from day one that had caught my eye to be included, and I just haven't popped them in. So I just want to have a little look. Does that path look like it's meandering through? Yep. I'm going to struggle to get the last prompt on this. But if I do that, I've still got a bit of room. How small of a birdhouse can I make to hang under that tree with that? How small? Could get one up there too. Or it stands. I stand a birdhouse through here. Be a big birdhouse. Be a birdhouse for a buzzard. Well, the path is good. I'm happy with that. It does feel like it just ends, so let's go rummaging and see what's in here as part of the leftovers from the two boxes. So champagne garden and wave of colour, all the bits were put into here. So I've still got some treasures. Those colours would really suit. I think we might find a home for him. He's just a random little piece of embroidery. Okay, so I've got some fabrics here that if we did a little birdhouse, they would certainly fit. Oh, hello. I like those roses. Oh, there's some more of these little guys. Oh, how deep do we dig, guys? Oh, there's all sorts in here. Oh my goodness. Oh, close it up, girl. Enough. I really like these roses. How do we make them work? Oh boy, I love those. Where do we put a birdhouse? I don't know what I'm thinking. What am I thinking? Could that go up in there and drift across the path to make it look like the path is... Oh, I don't know. Where's my scissors? Let's trim back this little... That little scalloped edge too probably could be stitched somehow into it. On hindsight, I wish I hadn't have cut there. That would have given me a nice little corner. Good one. I don't know where I'd use it, but it's keeping that intact. But, you know, it is what it is. I have chopped. That's the risk of just going for it and using your materials, and pick up those scissors and just chop for it. You're going to put chops where you probably will regret it, but that's okay. I can guarantee I would have forgotten about it in about 45 minutes. My brain would have gone on to the next shiny thing. I love those flowers. They've so got to go on the piece. I do like them there. It's not giving me a bird cage, a birdhouse. They do work there. Which still gives me my little bit of space, and it does give that path a bit of a terminating end. Where else can we put them? I sort of feel like that it down there is finished. I do have a spot here too. That always felt like that was an opportunity next to the paddock of vegetables, the veggie garden. I don't know, I feel like that looks really pretty there. I love how it's picking up the green and yellow beads there. I brought it down a little bit. Maybe the birdhouse could pop up behind it. Okay. So we need a birdhouse. How are we going to make a birdhouse? We're going to make it out of this, or are we going to make it out of something else? Hello, Fudgy. When I saw that music, to me that felt like the roof of the birdhouse, because it had those lines. I wonder if we could make... Yeah. Okay. Let's just have a go. Let's get ourselves a rectangle. be a big birdhouse, but that's okay. Everything's out of proportion. We've got a nice frayed edge. And I'm going to follow the line of that music. I don't know how much we're going to need. And we'll see if we can get our roof for our birdhouse. This is all about angles, isn't it? So we need an angle that is straight, like so, to get the peak of our birdhouse roof. And then we need an angle that comes across here, like so. Now that to me is too wide, but we're close. So if I want to get that opposite angle, I would need it to be like so. So the length is pretty close. So if I put that on there, that should give me a mirror image of my roof, give or take. The only thing is, I may have jiggered it because I wanted the I jiggered it because I want the tassel to be at the bottom. So I have a feeling it's a little bit big anyway, so I'm going to have to forget that piece and try that again. I can hear my brain thinking, can't you? It's too early in the morning to be figuring out. So if that's one side of it, let's just do this bloomin' logically. That's the other side. We need that to sit on there like that. Right, we got it. Let's try that again. I can feel my brain hurting. It's getting those angles right. Let's have a look. To sit. Can you hear Fudge? He's been in. Yeah, that's pretty good. With some little stitches in the key places, that is going to get me a roof. You probably can hardly see it, but what I need to now do is just trim that back a bit. It's a little bit big. So there's the roof. My notes are upside down. I've still jiggered it. Seriously. No, they're not. No, they're right. But if I trim it, it's going to be, I'm going to lose all the goodness of that. Yeah. I'm going to lose the frayed edge, because if I trim it, I'm going to lose the line of notes. So I'm going to need to create the frayed edge. So, which we can do. Oh, no. So it's just still a bit bigger. No, we can do it. Look, I'm seriously overthinking this too much. I'm just going to Oh, if I cut that, I'm not going to see those beautiful notes. I really want it up there. All right. You're probably sitting there watching me muck around with this. This is what happens when you don't have patterns and you just go for it. It is what it is. So now we have a frayed edge where we need the frayed edge. Easy. There's our roof. Give or take a bit of trimming needing. Oh, seriously. It's still not the right size. I think that is a bit better. Just because I want birds singing represented in the notes. Now the question is it too big for my piece? Probably. So how are we going to trim down? Do we take it off the side? Do we take it off the peaks? I feel like I could. Oh, I don't know. I love how big it is and obnoxious it is. Where would I take the length off? Could fiddle with this type of stuff for hours. I'm just going to snip a little bit off of there. I need to bring back that furred edge a little bit more. This is what I call freestyling. When you've got just an idea in your head, you've got no pattern, and you're just chopping into your fabrics to get your shape right. I need to turn my phone down. Everyone's getting out of bed. It's all starting to ping and bing, and I could probably do with a little bit off the birdhouse, but I want it to be quite big. So if I cut that side off, I think I could do, so I did have that angled up here like that. Maybe that would be better if I get that sharp angle on the top of the house. That's better. That's pulled my sides in. Okay, now I think we're getting somewhere. You're thinking, oh my goodness, girl. This is going to be an hour of my life I will never get back. So the question is, do I move it up higher? I think so. I still haven't solved where this path is ending. How am I going to do that? I love my roses. Do we embed the roses above the birdhouse so it looks like they're backing onto that? That would fix the path issue. I don't mind that. We had also considered putting the roses down the bottom here, and the birdhouse popped out from behind them so that it would lift up a little bit. I think I like that. I know the path is still an issue, but I might come back to the path. Maybe I can angle the path a different direction. So I'm just going to put a little pin there. Oh, you know what pin I might try? Remember those little quilters pins that came across my desk? Well, now I can't find them. They were tiny. Here's one. I'm going to have a go at inserting one of them. I thought, what a lovely idea for a tiny little pin that then wouldn't be in my way. So far I haven't cut down the house. I think that is going to be fine. I want it to be big. It doesn't make sense if it's small. because everything is just crazy sizes all over this piece. It handles itself in front of that tree because I've used the music notes as the roof of the little birdhouse. The birdhouse itself has got a bit of a shimmer to it, so I'm happy with that. Now the path. How do we terminate the path? Do I trim it back to give me a bit more space? I think I might need to. I think if that little bit was, well, I don't need to technically trim it back because the, what was I going to say? I can build flowers in there to disguise the fact that that path is there. So that'll work. I think the rose is going to go in there and my birdhouse is going to pop up behind it. I like how the rose drifts into the planting in front of the tree. My phone is buzzing. There's 5 messages in seconds. Is everything all right? It's our neighbourhood watch group, well, just our street. There's a suspicious car. So they're all off taking kids to school, and it seems to be the hot zone. When mums and dads are taking the little ones to school, any bad guys lingering around, it's that opportunity to come in and break into houses. Look at this. What could I do with this? I could put a little scallopy trim on the bottom of that little house. I like that. I'll just tuck that scallop underneath there. Just as a little something something. There we go. Another layer. Gives it something interesting. Is it needed? Probably not. But do I like it? Yep. Okay. Now I can put a circle in the center of our little house, and I'm thinking I might just cut a little circle out of this. Let's see if I can make a circle. Just a nice little brown. Somewhere for the little birdies to get in and out of the house. It's a bit of a funny circle, but that was guaranteed. There we go. Might put a dab of glue on that before that gets away on me and starts fraying, because that's the doily that I've used on the French garden. I'll just get a little bit of glue on that edge. Then I know it won't disintegrate. Okay. Might even just put, everything's got that feeling like it could fray to nothing in seconds. Now the other thing we need is we need a post. Now I need that post to be quite 3-dimensional. So let's move all this mess over to the one side. I still haven't found a spot for my little greenery shrubs, but that's all good. Let's have another look in here. What I'm thinking is the edge of a lace. Something that's lineal in line off of a, you know, an edge of something, like something that's firm. Wouldn't need much. Does that matter that it's not straight? Be better if it was straight, but that type of edge is what I'm thinking. I can feel quite a structure there. Be better if it was straight. What else have we got? Got heaps of little flowers still, so I can certainly terminate that path. That's too big. That's too big, but I do like that edge. But if I cut that, I've just ruined that whole piece. So we won't do that. An edge off of there. Okay. That might be... No. Just need like a slither or something. There's always a slither or something lying around. Now I'm making a hang of a mess. Look at it. She's ratting through the box. I can't see anything jumping out at me. Oh goodness, now I've made a big mess. Let's just put all the mess back in. Move the mess to the end of the table. I'm going to jump up and grab the old faithful box of lace, which is just down here. And there'd be a slither of something in there for sure. We're looking, see, oh look, more path. Goodness sakes. Here, I'm sort of looking for something like that. Where's our little house? Goodness me. Yeah. Okay. Let's just get that out of there. Won't need to be a big piece, but we won't make it too short, make it difficult. Let's just snip him out. Let's get this out of my way. Okay. Let's tidy it up. So it's going to be our post. Now the other thing is a birdhouse sits across a post as well. But I'm thinking that little lacy bit that I just tucked under there, the little scalloped edge, is enough of a line to say that there's something of a timber nature sitting there. Can you see it? And probably not. I think that little detail is enough to say that there's a board sitting there for the little birdhouse to be balanced on. Well, that's my story anyway. Let's get rid of the rose because we now need to slide in under there a post. There we go. Proportion wise, happy with that. Yep, happy with that. So I'm just going to pin that there. Get my post nice and straight and into the ground with that there. Okay, that's good. I think we can cut it there. Confident, yes. Now our roses can come back up into here. See, there's barely any post showing, so it's just a smidgen. Just get that just to sit just right. So it's all nestled, but it's there. Let me just pull it up a little bit so you can see. So that rose embroidery has come from a very finely embroidered motif off of a handkerchief. You know, when you used to get them as packs as kids back in the day before tissues were a thing. We'd had hankies were a constant gift. That just fits in. It just shows the handle of the wheelbarrow. Just just pops in there. It sort of connects it all. We've got our little birdhouse here. I like that. Now, the path. We need to make that path look like it's disappearing into the garden. So I just need a few well-placed morsels of something. Let's cut this out, because I think this might be something we could use, because it's only a small little embroidery. So we can make it quite dainty and use this to build, I don't know, a little hedge or a, I don't know. Let's see. As for space for the final prompt, boy, oh, I think I've just used it by getting in this path. I wish I had have put more path in it actually. Now that I've found this extra piece, yeah, that'll work. So I'm starting to disguise the fact that the path is ending in behind this shrub. So let's pin that there for now. And we just need to find something to sit up there. Now there were some odd random flowers in that container. So I've been dancing around that little spot there because I just didn't know what was coming. But I'm thinking I can go for it now. I'm going to put that little piece there. What else have we got in here? There was a flower. Where was that flower? There you are. I think it's too big. It is a little big. But if we... No, it's too big. What else have we got? Do we create a flower with that greenery? Can we create... See, I've still got this morsel here. Oh yeah, that'd work. I like that little petal coming out. So I could get that end. Ah, yep. So we can see our path, but it is disguised. What a hodgepodge. That's what you're thinking. But that is really good. That's got lots of texture. We've got lots of curves, so it looks and feels very florally. We've got our little gold flower that we've been using throughout the entire piece popping up again. It's hanging over the roof of my birdhouse, so it doesn't feel like it's intruding. We've got a little bit of green here. I think I'm going to cut this guy out as well and put him further up the path just to carry the story up a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit chunky. Let's nibble a bit more out of there. and then bring it maybe up here a little. Yeah, I like that. And it can just come onto the path a little bit. It picks up all the green that I've used around. That's really good. Happy with that. Once that's all secured. Now, I feel like I could put a little flower over here. So that plant looks like it's coming from something. And this lace here is screaming out for me to nibble a little flower out of. Oh, my tummy's rumbling. Must be time for breakfast. These are through the whole piece, so that just, yep. I like that. That feels like it's part of that bush. Doesn't look like it just ends. It's now got a piece in front of it. We've got our little path leading down into a cluster flower with that green again, which connects to that. Let me just bring it a little bit more over. So this feels like it's all connected here. That's really good. Then we find our little birdhouse. The rose connects that to that. So what can we do down here on the veggie patch? I just feel like this is, does that guy there finish it? Let me pull it up. He's just a bit big, isn't he? I do have a third flower, but it's the same size. It sort of looks like a line. I don't, there's bigger ones. Oh, maybe that. No. Oh, I got another little green. Oh, hello. Let's cut this guy out and add him down there. It's like this viney bramble that's popping up everywhere. And it's bringing that green through the piece, which I'm just really liking, to be honest. The thing about snippet rolls is the more the better, because you can really then look into the piece. To me, this is a bit simple. Where am I pointing? Down here. It's a bit simple, but we had a prompt. And I've got the story happening, the gate at the bottom of the street. But when you start getting into the mush of it all, the thickness of the piece, having areas where it's just layer upon layer, it's the same with stitches. When you start adding in heaps of stitches, your piece just comes alive. Oh yeah, that's better. That's better. Just feels like there's something else coming along there. That's better. I wonder if there's another one. I don't think there was. I think there were 3. If I find another one, I'd be tempted to bring it out through here or even up through here, but we'll see. If it turns up, it turns up. Can I get any more garden path in? I would have to lift flowers to get that in, which is not hard to do. But do I need it? Probably not. I think that's it. That's the most I'm going to get in, is that little piece there. Everything else sort of has its place. Down the side? No. Nope. Enough. I'll tidy up my little box of tricks here, and if I find another one of those, I will definitely stitch it in. So now I just got to thread my needle and start the process of over stitching all of these little edges on these little pieces to make it look like it blends in. So I've got to think about little beads that are already there, and then I might even dig out those little beads and pop a few extra over that little piece of embroidery so that it really feels like it's part of it. It's blending it in, merging it in. This tulle, yep, that tulle can come up and be over the top of that little piece as well. So that's good. So I'll get that tulle above it. Yep. And just working your way around the little piece. But I'm sure you guys know all this now. You know what you're doing. We've been stitching for some time, and I think you've got a bit of a feel for what I do. Who knows what you're going to get type of embroidery. There we go. That's good. That's nice and secure. Takes time to stitch all these little pieces down. But it's good, it's mindless stitching. Like I've said 100 times, invisible stitch is up there with one of my favourites because I can just zone out from what I'm doing and think about something else, like another project or what I need to do for the day, or, you know, just, or nothing. Well, that never happens. This mindfulness, you know, where you stitch and you consider everything, and I don't know, that doesn't seem to happen with me. When I quieten the mind by doing an activity like this, it tends to just go off on tangents and down rabbit holes of other creative processes, which gets me all excited. And then I find I put my work down and I race off to the craft room and start pulling together a project of bits and pieces that might be something one day. So if anything, quietening the brain down and sitting and stitching, it's not good. It gives me a moment to think about other things and create more mess in my craft room. So I'm probably completely missing the whole point of the slow stitch movement. It's completely missed me. And there's Pepper. Good morning, Pepper. We noticed the other day that Pepper does the barking through the day. If there's any shenanigans on in the street, or something we need to know about, or a bird's landed in a tree that she's not impressed with, she's the one that barks. In the evening, she goes straight to bed. She climbs in, snuggles in, and Bandit, oh, you can hear Bandit a bit there. That just blows my whole theory. But Bandit's the one that is sitting up all night, just watching, listening, and you'll hear his big throaty bark. So we feel like we've got a night shift and a day shift with them. Mind you, now Bandit's barking, so it blows that theory. The neighbours down the side of the fence line getting timber for their fireplace, and their puppy would be in tow. So that's why my two are a little excited about the yibby yabba. But yeah, if anyone's going to bark at night, it's Bandit. If anyone's going to bark through the day, it's Pep. So interesting. There's like a day shift and a night shift. The big boy, he comes into play. It's his job to protect her through the night. But all the social chitter-chatter, that's Pepper. She's like, what you doing? Where you going? What's happening? Where you been? Who are you? And Bandit's like, yeah, whatever. But at night, Bandit's like, what's that? That doesn't sound good. I better keep an eye on it. He'll sit for hours just staring into the dark like he's a real... Australian Shepherds were bred for that. They were to watch the herds and over the shepherd while he slept, and while the herds just sort of hung around in the valley, the Aussie Shepherds were up on the ridges watching for predators, wolves, bears, other shepherds, cattle duffing sheep. I don't know, I just made that up. But it happens in cattle, so I'm sure it happens in sheep. But the big Australian Shepherd was up there on the hills watching. And they're a little bit nocturnal. Pepper, not at all. I don't see a lot of nocturnal in her. She's very much a day girl and then sleep all night. But Bandit, yeah, he sits and watches. And even when they're on our patio, Pepper will be at the door looking straight in at me, and Bandit will be about 6 or 7 metres back, leaning against the house wall, watching out over the back paddock, not too concerned about me and Pepper chatting at the door. He's sort of guard dogging. It's very interesting. Well, that's that little guy stitched into position there. I don't think I'm going to need beads because I feel like I've been able to tuck that right in amongst the cluster that's already there. So I think that looks like it's always been there and it's sprouting out. So I'm happy with that. So he's down. Well, my husband's just arrived for breakfast. My tummy is rumbling. So I'm going to take an early mark. You guys usually get the full hour plus a bit. But I'm going to take an early mark. That's stitched in. I'm happy with that. So my homework will be to stitch down the rows, stitch down the little birdhouse, and I'll pick some threads just to highlight a little bit. But it feels beautiful and it's got that little shine about it. So it's going to look really cute. Then I'll work my way up here, attach down all that, and up the path and attach down all that. And boy, I'm really happy with that side of my piece now. Looks like it's finished. Goodness knows where I'm going to put the next prompt. But anyway, we'll worry about that another day. All right, guys, I'm going to finish 10 minutes early. And I'm going to go and make some breakfast. So look after yourselves and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.